Hello, Nakama, and welcome to the Church of One Piece. I am your pastor, the One Piece apologist, and we are gathered here today for another special episode reviewing the One Piece live-action Netflix series. Before we get into that, I do want to remind everyone that there will be spoilers in these videos for both the entire live-action series as well as the entire series of One Piece as a whole, because there's a lot of just fun references that I want to make sure to highlight, and I can't do so without mentioning some spoilers. So, without further ado, we're going to review episode 2 of the live-action series called The Man in the Straw Hat. So, Nami thinks there's only one kind of pirate, but then later Luffy is like setting these slaves that Buggy has had free, and he says, I'm a different kind of pirate, and you kind of see Nami's face acknowledge that and go like, oh, maybe there are other kinds of pirates, it's not just that one kind, you know? Then I will say also, Buggy in this version is absolutely terrifying, which I thought was perfect. He really strikes that perfect Joker balance of being both funny and insane, and insanely terrifying, right? And I think that was just such an amazing way to portray this character. I loved it. I did think Zoro's outfit was kind of cool. It was sort of a mix between his like original pre-time skip outfit with the green pants and his like first post-time skip outfit with like the green kimono top. So I thought that was kind of a fun outfit for him. You know, I can see where wearing a whole kimono might be difficult to do action and stuff too. So I will say Garp seemed to sense something in Koby and kind of think, oh yeah, this guy could be maybe like the future of the Marines, so let me bring him with us, you know. And then of course later he does have that conversation. Garp has that conversation with Zeph about the young people who are bringing about the future. And I think Garp realizes that, well, Luffy may be that on the pirate side, Koby and Helmeppo or whatnot are probably that on the Navy side. But I love that even while Buggy is torturing Luffy, Luffy never stops smiling. That is so Luffy, and I'm glad that we have that, especially when we did not have Logtown at the end of the series, so at the end of the season here, so we didn't get the scene of Buggy about to execute Luffy, and Luffy still smiling, and then of course the lightning bolt hits. But I did love to see that even while he was being tortured, Luffy just kept that big smile on. Another thing that I love to see is the reference to Luffy kind of forgetting people's names and assigning them like random nicknames that are sort of close to their real name, but not exactly. And then, of course, one of the names he calls Buggy is Boogie the Clown, right? And that was actually the character's original name when Oda Sensei was planning out the story. But then he like saw something where there was a character named Boogie, and so he decided to change it to Buggy the Clown just a little before publication. So I thought that was a really fun little reference in there. Also, this version of Buggy clearly has issues. I love to see that being planted early on like this because, as we do know later in the story, he was a member of Goldie Roger's crew, and he was a contemporary of Shanks. They were on the same crew in both Pirate Apprentices, and I think, you know, Shanks was constantly outshining him, as well as the other Roger pirates were just too great to be lived up to, right? He was constantly living in their shadow. And so I think that it's really great to see that Buggy clearly has this need for attention and validation from people, you know? And so he's been having, and so he's been keeping these slaves around to watch his circus performance or whatever, you know, in an effort to achieve that. Also, Kabaji, the guy on the unicycle with the striped hair, calls Zoro a demon again. Just pointing it out. Happens a lot, right? Interesting how they are showing Garp, but they're not revealing his relation to Luffy yet. I think that it's really, it's a really cool way to do that because, you know, people just watching the series for the first time wouldn't necessarily know, and so it kind of keeps that suspense still in there. They think Garp is actually like a bad guy, you know. Quick quick, just want to talk about this. You know, Higuma, the mountain bandit who kidnaps Luffy and takes him out to sea, and then ends up getting eaten by the Sea King. Like, Luffy says, the flashback Luffy says, you know, Shanks is gonna make you wish you were never born, you know? And Higuma's response is like, I already wish that, you know, every day I wish that, you know, or whatever. And like, and I'm just like, Jesus, this is sad. This guy's depressed. Can we get this guy some help? Like, you know, like, you know, obviously he's being a dick at the time, but still, I'm just like, why did we have to write that line in? Could we have just had him say nothing? Like, you know, but yeah. Anyway, the Shanks losing his arm scene was a bit weird for me. I don't feel there was quite enough intensity in the eyes, and maybe like the sound wasn't perfect for me. And so, also when the arm actually got bitten off, it just kind of seemed to happen slowly and like not in a super like believable way to me, I guess. Partly I think with it being on the boat rather than being in the water, and so. Yeah, I think that scene just could have been a little better, in my opinion. But, oh well, you know, not the end of the world. Luffy does quote / imitate Shanks a lot, which seems a little bit out of character for him because he's more of a free being who, you know, kind of has his own way of doing things. But I do think that is probably one of the quickest and easiest ways for them to establish that mentor-mentee relationship between Shanks and Luffy, you know? I love Buggy's chop chop powers, the suction cup noise that it makes when it goes apart and comes back together, and also him yelling it and how they use the lighting to kind of hide some of the body parts sometimes, so it kind of didn't always need the best animation or whatever, I don't know, and I thought that they played off really well. I really like Buggy's chop chop powers for sure. Also, Garp being anti-dreams. Just feels a little bit weird to me. I guess we never necessarily hear him being like super in support of dreams like we constantly see with Luffy, but like still, I've never really felt like he was like so anti-dreams, and so that was just a little bit of a harsh scene to me. And again, I'm like, did we need this? Did we need this scene? Could we have skipped it and like put other stuff in, you know? But Shanks giving Luffy the hat did have the right feel for me. I thought that scene worked perfectly, and I absolutely loved it. So then he tells Luffy, be good, Luffy. You know, both saying be well as be a good person, because it's the right way to be, you know. So I really loved this episode and look forward to reviewing more with y'all. Keep watching, and One Piece be with you.